व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनं शलाकया चक्षुरुमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। Nothing, I just gathered everybody together to smile. So today being the first day of the Malayalam New Year, Vishu, everybody got one rupee Vishu Kainitam. So this is a new year. So this is a message to all of us Padayatris that if you have any differences of opinion and problems, transcend them and move towards the new year. This is for all. All of us, meaning all those who are walking, working together. If you have any differences of opinion, sort them out and consider this as a new year and move forward. Because we are together in this. Like our friend Blue was singing on the flute, playing on the flute. Jyot se jyot jalate chalo, prem ki ganga bahate chalo. So let's do that. So people should try to work out ways and means to adjust themselves, because finally with all our spiritual yaps, the most important thing is love, affection, forgiveness, and not holding things in our mind forever and keeping things against other people. This is the most important. If that doesn't happen, then you can go every day to the temple, bow down, put one big tilaka, and come back home. Nothing has happened. The main thing is the heart. If you can forgive, if you can love and move forward, then I would consider that to be Vishu, the opening of the new year. All other things are useless. I don't want to say that people love to go to temples. Sometimes I am tempted to say dump everything and forget it. But you can't say it because people love to go to temples. Because if you go, it's good. But remember that not only there, but your body is itself a temple. Don't forget that. All human beings are walking, talking, moving temples, which you have to respect more than a building made of granite and stone and cement. This is very important to note. And as human beings, that should be more important to us than anything else. So this is why I thought I will get everybody together. Now, if you have among you some important question which is gnawing in your head, gnawing at your guts, and you want to discuss it, if it is something which can be discussed in public with me, you are free to ask me, and I am free to decide if I want to answer.
So, can you please talk to us a little bit about, no, not Kundalini. So about like, the dedication required to practice our, the abhyasa. So let's say that we know, let's say that there's an understanding that I need to know exactly what I need to do in terms of my sadhana, my meditation, love, compassion, etc. Abhyasa. So can you please talk a little bit about that, sir?
Abhyasa means practice. Many people misunderstand abhyasa as meaning sitting down, closing your eyes, breathing up and down. Abhyasa means daily life's practice. How you live. how you behave with people, how you eat, how you sleep, how much anger you have inside you, how you are able to control it, how you can bring about forgiveness in yourself. This is the most important abhyasa, not this. The blacksmith's bellows also breathe, they have no life. This is the most important abhyasa. Along with that, you can also center your mind by some practice which brings your mind to a center. But both have to go hand in hand. I can't say I will live as I like and do my sadhana and get moksha. This is not possible. Not possible at all. Because sadhana is not a shortcut. It is the longest cut. And the longest cut is to cut your ego into two. This is abhyasa. Other practice you can pick up from here. I also taught some, somebody else is teaching some. This you have to do to center your mind for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour every day. Fine, I understand. But the real abhyasa is how you live in this world, how you behave with people. Do you tell lies sometimes? To watch out. If I am telling lies, if they are harmless lies, it is all right. But not lies. Lies. So, to live a proper life, to eat moderately, to sleep moderately. Sleep moderately, we don't have to discuss. Everybody is up at for 3 now. So, everybody is sleeping very little. However, in this context, I want to tell you something, which is that you may think that I am doing a great job walking. I think you people are doing a great job. I am telling you very honestly. Because why would someone believe in this man and walk all the way from in the sun, hot sun, going through all the difficulties? So in the process, by my words or by my actions, not consciously but unconsciously, if I have caused any harm, pain, injury to anybody, I seek forgiveness for that. Because I might have, who knows? People may not, So I am very aware of this, so I am saying this. So you know what is abhyasa now. Don't look, abhyasa means don't look for some mysterious thing which you can practice at midnight. In morning you wake up, I am a yogi. Okay. That is not abhyasa. Abhyasa is a daily practice in life, including your meditation, of course. And don't have quarrels with anybody about your idea about God and divinity. It may be different from others. People have different ideas about divinity. Different people have different ideas. So that is their idea. This is my idea. We don't have any quarrels with that. You're right. One must center oneself every day, at least for 15-20 minutes, until you come to a state when your restful mind in its natural state is tranquil. Now for that you also have to live tranquilly. Can you imagine fighting with somebody the whole day and sitting down and meditating? Is it possible? This is not possible, because the substitute word for the word Shivam in the Shaiva Shastra, Shivam also means auspiciousness. It also means ananda. It also means tranquility. So to be a sthita prajna, one has to keep your mind quiet. And for that, the greatest asset is forgiveness. Doesn't matter if somebody says, so what? Say it's all right.
Sir, there are laws of nature and there is laws of land. The laws of nature has the laws of nature or the laws of the even the God, you say, they change with the times. In Treta and Dwapar, they have changed. And the laws of the land changes with the government, when the government changes. But we are the human beings that we have to follow these things. We have to live, we have to survive. So what is the ultimate law actually? Because sometimes they clash.
Didn't exactly get your question, but I think kind of. See, there is no law, any law, which teaches you to go against humanity can be discarded. But if you're staying in a particular locality where you have to follow that law, otherwise you will be arrested, then pretend to follow that law. Don't actually follow it. Because you have also to have some common sense. You cannot go to extremes. Like the Arab says, trust in God but tie your camel. So, in these matters, one has to use one's common sense. But don't forget that the ultimate law is that all living beings are connected to each other, linked to each other. And therefore, compassion to a living being, love and affection to a living being is the ultimate practice that one can do. Many laws have been framed to bring this about because people don't practice it naturally sometimes. But if you find any law which you think goes against this, you are free to discard it. But discard it carefully so that the law of the land doesn't catch up with you. When Jesus preached on a Sabbath day, and the Sabbath day for the Jews is a day of rest. They won't even lift your luggage. Sabbath. The idea is that in the Old Testament, God created the earth and the heavens for 6 days, and on the 7th day He rested. This is the so they also rest on the 7th day. They have not created anything except children, but they also rest. So it's considered to be a religious practice. Now Jesus went out to the open market and preached on Sabbath according to the law of the land, which is a wrong thing to do. So when he was questioned by his fellow Jews, he was also a Jew, you must remember. He said, the law is made for man, not man for the law. Because he thought to do something good on a day, Sabbath, there's nothing wrong with it. But the law of the land said, no, it is wrong. So he said, the law is made for human beings to improve. Made for man. Man is not made to fit into the law. So these are things which one has to use a little bit of common sense in this matter. But please remember that kindness and compassion and goodwill towards others is the ultimate law. There is no law to beat this.
സാറിനെ ഇങ്ങനെ പിന്തുടരുമ്പോഴേ ഭാരതീയ ഋഷി പാരമ്പര്യത്തെ പിന്തുടരാനുള്ള ഉദ്ദേശത്തിലാണ് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഭാരതീയ ഋഷി പാരമ്പര്യത്തെ പിന്തുടരുക എന്നുള്ളൊരു ഉദ്ദേശം. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒരാൾ നിർബന്ധമായിട്ട് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന 4 കാര്യങ്ങൾ എന്താണെന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റും? ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ലാത്ത 4 കാര്യവും ചെയ്യേണ്ട 4 കാര്യവും ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള.
The young man said that when I am walking behind you, I believe that I am walking behind someone from the Rishi Parampara. And therefore, are there any, when he said 4, it is a very metaphorical expression. Are there some simple rules which we have to follow while we are following you? Alle? That's then what to do and what not to do. Definitely you should make sure to eat the proper food so that you go to the toilet daily. Chuma or that. Yeah, there are some important things to do. Let me finish the question. Do's and don'ts. One do is, as far as possible, don't develop hatred or enmity towards anybody. പറ്റുന്നിടത്തോളം. Two, try to fall in line with all others who are walking with us. Eat your food, meditate every day, sleep at the proper time, look after your health. Three, don't miss your meditation. Whatever busy time you have, please take out half an hour for meditation. Four, keep your body clean. As long as water is available, keep your body clean, because if your body is not clean, you will get some diseases. Plus, other people have to walk near us. So keep your body. These four things, principally, if you follow. There is a fifth thing, which I think is more important than all the four things, which is, when I speak, listen carefully to what I am saying. This is very important. Even when I am walking, I might be making some jokes, but listen carefully. Because for us, it is not the words that we say that are important, but the effect it has on people. I may be saying something which may appear like a joke, but if there are 5 people around, I know how it will affect each person. Maybe affecting in a different way. So, കെയർഫുള്ളായിട്ട് ഞാൻ സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ, നടക്കുമ്പോഴും കാപ്പി കുടിക്കുമ്പോഴും ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരുന്ന് സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോഴും സുഖം ഒന്ന് ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് കേൾക്കണം, എന്താണ് പറയുന്നത്. അതാണ് ഏറ്റവും, വേറെ ഒന്നുമില്ല, അത്ര പ്രശ്നമില്ല. പിന്നെ ഒരു അൺഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഒരു ചെറിയ സാധനമുണ്ട്. ബിക്കോസ് യു ആർ ഓൾ മെൻ ആൻഡ് വിമൻ വാക്കിംഗ് ടുഗെദർ. Don't develop any unusual friendship with the opposite sex. It will help you a lot. I mean, you can be friends. Beyond that, ऋषि परंपरा आयതുകൊണ്ട് പറയാം.
वर्तमान काल, भविष्य काल, भूतकाल, इसमें वर्तमान काल कौन सा होता है? प्रकृति में कभी भी चेंजेस होते रहता है, एवरी मोमेंट चेंजेस होते रहता है. आने वाला प्रेजेंट टेंस हो, ऐसा बात भूतकाल, आने का वर्तमान काल, प्रेजेंट भविष्य काल, आने वाला भविष्य काल होता है. वो विद इन नो टाइम भूतकाल को चले जाता है. वर्तमान काल कौन सा? प्रेजेंट टेंस, विच इज प्रेजेंट टेंस.
एक्चुअली सब लोग हम फैशन में बोलते हैं, हम लोग सब वर्तमान काल के लोग हैं. हम वर्तमान, कोई भी आदमी वर्तमान काल में रहता ही नहीं है. एक आदमी हज़ारों में वर्तमान काल में रहता है. जिसको मोक्ष मिलता है वही वर्तमान काल में रहता है. बाकी लोग सब अगर पीछे हैं, नहीं तो सामने सोचते रहते हैं, वो बीच में पकड़ नहीं सकते. वर्तमान काल करके ऐसा कोई काल है ही नहीं. अब जो लोग सोचते हैं ये वर्तमान काल है, ऐसे सोचते हैं, मगर वर्तमान काल नहीं है. वर्तमान काल जो पकड़ता है वो योगी पकड़ता है. उसको ही पता है क्या वर्तमान काल है. अगर वो एक बार वर्तमान काल आप पकड़ लिए, काम ख़त्म हो गया, कुछ नहीं है फिर काम. फिर ऐसे इधर उधर घूमते फिरते हैं, वो तो ऐसे हैबिट से चलते रहते हैं. कुछ समझ में आया ना थोड़ा सा कुछ. अब देखिए, अभी एक मन में एक सोच आ रहा है, हमारे आ रहा है, आ गया, गया है कि होए, हो गया, वो भी बोलते ही चला गया, चला गया. सोच भी ऐसा ही है. अभी सोचने वाला हूँ, सोचा, गया, तो वो सोचा हो गया, सोच नहीं रहा. तो और सारी ज़िंदगी ऐसी ही चलती रहती है। ये हमको लगता है कि अलग अलग है, हमको लगता है कि सब एक है, मगर सब अलग अलग है। तो पुराना सिनेमा है ना, वो पुराना प्रोजेक्टर जिसमें फिल्म डालते हैं, उसमें एक आदमी हाथ ऐसा उठा रहा है तो एक एक फ्रेम में ऐसा 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 एक एक फ्रेम वो स्पीड में चलाते हैं, लगता है ऐसा हाथ उठा दिया है। तो ऐसा ही छोटा 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 डिवीज़न में मन काम करता है। अगर कोई उसके बीच के डिवीज़न का इंटरवल पकड़ लिया तो उसका काम ख़त्म। फिर वो जी रहा है मगर वो मर के जी रहा है, ज़िंदा नहीं है एक्चुअली। वो ज़िंदा अलग जगह में है, यहाँ नहीं है। सबको लगता है खाता पीता है इसलिए ज़िंदा है, ऐसा लगता है।
So many prophets of this world told about their own opinion about moksha. According to Shankaracharya, he told moksha is nothing but end of rebirth. What is the real meaning or simple meaning about moksha?
About the ending of rebirth, Shankara said right, not only Shankara, other people. End of rebirth is something which we don't know anything about. We don't even know fully about this birth, forget about last birth. We know only what is written in books. We really don't know about past. But there is another meaning to ending of rebirth. When the mind stops craving, craving is the craving for a new thing to take birth. When the mind stops that craving, when it is fully satisfied by settling down quietly without craving for anything, that is the end of rebirth. When that happens, then perhaps the yogi will understand about the other rebirth. You understand what I am saying? The birth of ideas, everything ceases. When everything is over, then our record is over. Then you have a way of finding out about that, but otherwise we can't in this state. So that is more important. The death of craving. Then there is no rebirth. Here. Simple way you said, so I am trying.